It's already been a year of distractions and turmoil for the Houston Rockets. Drug problems almost tore the team apart, but the recent play of Ralph Sampson has quelled the storm. In the face of adversity, the Rockets have responded with the same pride and character that helped them get to last year's NBA Finals. Dominique Wilkins and the Atlanta Hawks have served notice that they are indeed a new power in the NBA. And while the spectacular high-wire antics of Wilkins gets most of the attention, Atlanta's attack has many weapons, including an intimidating defense. And if variety is the spice of life, Coach Mike Fratello is living it up this season. Today, three of the game's brightest stars will be showcased in a battle between two of the NBA's powerful young teams. It's the Rockets and the Hawks from Atlanta. Them all, the Central, Atlanta and the Detroit Pistons are tied for first, and Milwaukee just 2 games out. Good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, and while the Lakers and the Celtics have the best 2 records in the NBA, they're veteran clubs. And if you want to look to the emerging powerhouses in the league, you can look right here to the matchup we have this afternoon. The Hawks against the Rockets. In the backcourt for Houston, Dirk Minifield and Robert Reed. And Bill Fitch, the coach, he's 4 wins away from 700 career victories as a head coach. For the Atlanta Hawks, Dominique Wilkins and Kevin Willis up front, and Tree Rollins. 2 7-footers there. In the backcourt, Glenn Doc Rivers and John Battle in his second year from Rutgers. The reigning coach of the year in the NBA is Mike Fratello. Working today's game will be Hugh Evans and Mike Mathis. And the Atlanta Hawks, with an 18-3 home record, one of the best in the league, will go against that team. And the Rockets, Tommy talked about the fact that Houston might have leveled off after their big spurt, but they still have won 12 of their last 16, and he's a key man, Olajuwon, and of course they hope he comes to play.
Well, he's the guy, Ralph Sampson, that when he's consistent, boy, they are totally awesome. But the outside shooting game has to be solved today, because this man can really take it to the hoop, Dominique Wilkins. Although he's had a little bit of a back problem, let's see if he can stretch it out.
And those 3 players you saw up close will all be starters in next week's All-Star game in Seattle. The Hawks in white, the Rockets in red. The NBA on CBS, a lot of Giants playing in this game, and we expect a lot of speed as well. Controlled by the Rockets.
I think, Dick, the key to this ball game is who is going to be able to run their fast break better. Who's going to produce more points off the fast break?
Both of these teams have that ability, but both have faltered. There's the alley-oop from Reed into Sampson. And he traveled too many steps.
Trying to get Ralph Sampson off early.
And pressure by Minifield and the Rockets into the hands of John Battle. They're playing Battle, and Tommy talked about Spud Webb being hurt. Randy Whitman, their best outside shooting guard, is also out until after the All-Star break. Reed knocks it out of bounds, so both clubs really are struggling at the guard position.
I think that that's had a great deal to do with the Hawks' problems that guard. Battle has not played a lot of off guard for this ball club, more of a point guard, and Rivers has to do the whole job.
Battle. Rollins tips it away into the hands of McRae. Dirk Minifield controls it. He was acquired from the Cleveland Cavaliers early in December. Sampson and Willis. That'll be quite a matchup today. Willis the rebound.
Well, both ball clubs will try and push it at him, but the key players for the fast break to work will be Doc Rivers and Dirk Minifield with the ball right now for the Rockets.
Rivers put the Hawks in front 2-0. Olajuwon double teamed with Wilkins and Rollins. You see a bit of the strength that the Hawks have up front. Open is Battle. 4-0.
Doc Rivers found the right option that time. Battles for the pull-up jump shot. That's the way to make it sing.
Minute and a half gone by, opening period. Rockets have lost their last 2. Hawks beat the Knicks Friday night. Sampson missing the hook shot, and Rollins cleared. Rivers looking for an opening. Wilkins with his first shot of the day, a 3-pointer for Dominique Wilkins, the 3rd leading scorer in the NBA. called by Bill Fitch after that one. 7-0 Atlanta.
Ford announces a new...
Nearly 2 minutes gone by. 7-0. Rockets trying to score here. Robert Reed, he's been hot from outside lately, and he puts the Rockets on the board.
That's so important for Robert Reed to hit that outside shot. That'll keep the defense off Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson.
Knocked away by Olajuwon, and he fouled Tree Rollins. First personal foul. Hakeem Olajuwon, who is the leading scorer for the Rockets and their top rebounder as well, missed 7 games with an ankle injury earlier this year. Both of the Towers were out for a while.
I think it's very important how they defense Hakeem Olajuwon today, the Hawks.
Wilkins and Olajuwon are the big guns who have to be defensed today somehow, some way.
Now, the inside game of the Hawks, not as productive on paper as the Rockets are.
Rollins, who's not a scorer normally, but a shot blocker and intimidator, missed the hook shot. And it's 7-2 Hawks, 9:15 remaining in the first period. Sampson guarded by Willis. And a foul away from the ball called against the Hawks.
Going to see some good weak side rebounding by Ralph Sampson. You see Olajuwon forcing Tree Rollins up the lane. But Tree's got a hook shot, but watch right now. They get all over the outlet man, so they stop the Rockets' fast break.
Foul was on John Battle. Sampson playing outside. The only one inside is Olajuwon, trying to get free from Rollins. 10 on the shot clock. He's double teamed and puts up the shot. Good defense by the Atlanta Hawks on the big man. And now Battle pushes it up for the Hawks, goes all the way to score.
That's what we talked about. The opening was there. You got to have enough experience to know when to take advantage of it.
He only played in his first NBA start Friday against New York. McRae to Sampson. And Wilkins. Watch him in the open court. McRae, one of the best defenders against him. 9-2 in favor of Atlanta. Kevin Willis. And the rebound by Olajuwon. They're going to have to fight for that defensive board. The Hawks lead the NBA in offensive rebounding. And drawing the foul nicely is Rodney McRae.
We're going to see some real great speed on the fast break by the Hawks. Both teams are fast, but you watch Battles now, only a one-game starter. Just read the defense and get through for the layup.
Wilkins committed the foul on Rodney McRae, and you know that McRae wants to keep Wilkins busy on the defensive end today.
That's how everybody attacks Dominique, by making him play defense, hoping they'll tire him so he'll lose his shooting touch.
Dominique, by the way, suffered a back injury in Friday's game. He did not practice yesterday, and before the game had a hot pad against his back, so he is not 100%.
I wonder if we'll truly see as high flyer as we've been watching for the last couple of weeks.
I have a hunch we will. Maybe his back will loosen up the more he gets involved. 9-3, Atlanta leading. Nearly 4 minutes elapsed in this opening period. Doc Rivers going to the hoop, and a good move by Glenn Doc Rivers.
Well, they're pulling the shot blockers away from the basket.
Sampson on the other side, basket good and a foul. And there's where the big man fills the lane, and he beat the Hawks' Kevin Willis down court.
Well, that's the tremendous advantage the Rockets have over most teams in the NBA. The fourth and fifth man up the court. You watch after a made basket how quickly they advance, and Sampson's already up the court against another fast man, Kevin Willis. Now, he turns that loose the entire game. I wouldn't want to be guarding him.
Foul was on Doc Rivers, and the three-point play by Ralph Sampson. And the lead now is 5 for the Hawks. Rivers driving against Minifield, finds Rollins. Didn't have control, and Mathis signals a foul against Houston. Non-shooting foul, and Mike Fratello at 39 years old.
That's 2 big fouls on Olajuwon right now. And you wouldn't expect that Olajuwon would be picking up early fouls against Tree Rollins.
2 on Olajuwon with 7:40 remaining in the first period. Willis setting a screen for Battle. He had the pick and roll going, but Battle shot and missed. Sampson runs into Battle, who caused the traveling violation against Big Ralph.
You know, when you get the rebound to start a fast break, you got to pick out the right man so that he can advance the ball. That time, Olajuwon made the wrong judgment.
Minifield on Rivers, and Rivers has so far tried to penetrate against Dirk. McRae on Wilkins. Wilkins isolated. No way to stop that. No way to stop him one-on-one.
What they try and do is force him to help, particularly Olajuwon or Sampson, and get him to commit about 8 feet from the basket so that it won't be an easy shot.
13-6 Atlanta leading. They've had the lead since they scored 7 to start the game. McRae lost it. Battle. Had trouble with the dribble. Couldn't go to the hoop. And Reed gets the rebound. Reed did not turn it over. It was deflected by a Hawk. Reed misses, and Willis the rebound. Long pass, Wilkins. Foul. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Jim Peterson comes into the game for the Houston Rockets.
Here's Dominique's move, one-on-one. Now, they're going to force him to the middle and try and get him up in the air about 8 feet from the hoop so that one of those big guys can start swatting it away. That time, they let him get too close to the basket.
Olajuwon with 2 fouls and no points leaves the game. The personal foul was on McRae, and Wilkins misses the free throw. Now Ralph Sampson will be playing the center position with Jim Peterson in the game along with McRae up front.
Well, Peterson is a banger and has also improved his low post game to where he's a pretty capable reserve and can get the job done.
But how will the Rockets use Sampson now?
Well, Sampson will probably be in the normal spot Akeem is in the low post on the left side so that he can swing strong to the middle with his hook shot.
1 out of 2 for Wilkins. Hawks were trapping at midcourt. Sampson finds an open Peterson, and goaltending called against Tree Rollins. Credit the basket to Jim Peterson.
That was a heads-up play by Ralph.
6:20 remaining first period. Tree Rollins, basket counts and a foul. Tough for McRae to defend against the likes of 7-foot Tree Rollins, a 9-year veteran.
Well, Ralph Sampson made the only move possible to go over and switch on the penetration, and Tree Rollins, with all that experience, just slipped in for the offensive rebound. I mean, he spread out his limbs, Tree, and made it happen.
Second foul on McRae. 17-8, Atlanta in front. Robert Reed. Good pass to Peterson, couldn't control. Rockets save it. Sampson. And they're going to call the blocking foul against the Hawks, and the crowd thought Ralph charged. Doc Rivers. If it's on him, it'll be 2.
That's a key problem. Here's Doc trying to establish himself, moving at the very end. And there is a shot by Sampson, but there was a man open on the baseline.
Gus Williams, who's had to take up the slack in the absence of Spud Webb. He doesn't have the speed he has as Rivers goes out of the game. But he's had the experience. Gus Williams used to be a one-man break with Seattle, and, of course, Washington is latest team.
Well, they need somebody that really knows how to read fast break situations, and Gus has been doing it for so long. I think it was a great move to pick him up.
One out of 2 for Sampson. 8-point lead for the Atlanta Hawks. 6 minutes remaining first period. The shooting so far, Atlanta 50%. Houston 33. Wilkins. Reed helping there, and good defense by the Rockets. But Hawks get the rebound, and Gus Williams buries it.
Well, they made Wilkins commit about 10 feet that time, and Ralph was right behind it for the block.
Kirk Minifield penetrating against Rollins. McRae against Rollins again, and it's going to be out of bounds. It hit the bottom of the stanchion, so the Rockets will go out to the sideline to inbound.
Very interesting to me early in this game, Dick, that they elected to go to Ralph Sampson being guarded by Willis. Mike Fratello gambling that Willis could stay with Ralph. And Fitz saying, I want to get Willis out of the game. I'm not so concerned about Tree Rollins.
Rollins with a lot of beef on Sampson. Sampson with the speed on Rollins. And Dominique Wilkins in the corner gets it in the hands of Gus Williams. Picked up by Minifield. Nice play. Basket by Williams, but Minifield on a good switch did all he could do, and it's 21-9. Atlanta rolling out to a big early lead.
Well, Gus knows how to go one-on-one off the break.
Minifield. And a loose ball foul called against the Hawks.
Here's an example of McCray playing perfect defense on Wilkins. Now you watch him force him out, and all of a sudden there's Ralph about 3 feet behind, almost got a piece of it. They ended up with a lucky bounce and scored on the thing, but boy, you couldn't play defense any better than they did that time against Wilkins.
Kevin Willis, his first personal foul. The Rockets back on course after that nightmarish period where they fell to 9 games behind. Alan Level replaces Dirk Minifield. Level is a veteran who was waived and then returned, and he played 33 minutes the other night.
He's important to this ball club because he has a little bit more experience of being the middleman, pushman on a fast break.
Been with the Hawks a while. 81, he faced the Celtics in the championship series. 10-point lead for Atlanta, 21-11 with 4:40 to go first period. Inside, Rollins got away from his man. So 5 points for Tree Rollins, who's just about reached his season's average. They don't rely on him for offense.
Well, they're gambling off Tree Rollins, and Atlanta alert to that.
Sampson coming in, misses a short hook shot, and Kevin Willis clears it. 5 rebounds for Kevin Willis. He leads the team in that department. Gus Williams misses. Sampson with a good outlet to Reed. 2-on-1. Reed doesn't get the foul, and Rollins gets the ball. And now the Hawks go the other way. Wide open, Gus Williams.
That was a good read by John Battles to set Williams up for the jumper.
And an Atlanta foul on John Battles sends Alan Level stumbling to midcourt. And Mike McGee, the former Laker, has now checked into the game for the Hawks.
They don't really truly respect Tree Rollins, okay? Offensively, they gamble off him, and the next thing you know, the Hawks alert to that situation and say, you'll pay.
Level will shoot after the foul by Battle, who was replaced by McGee. He's had a sore right knee, but Mike McGee has given the Hawks another outside shooting dimension since coming over in a trade that sent Billy Thompson to the Lakers. And Cedric Maxwell, who was rescued from the Los Angeles Clippers, and a 10-year veteran, comes in for McCray.
Rescued, huh? Well, Maxwell certainly was not on a winning team, and he has great prospects of being on a winning team here with Houston. He's very important to this ball club. He is an excellent defender of quick forwards, and he'll match up most probably against Dominique Wilkins. Play him a little bit different, perhaps, than McCray did.
Under 4 minutes to go first period. 23-13. Biggest lead for the Hawks was 12.
That's Max backing off.
Wilkins with the jumper. 8 points for Dominique Wilkins to lead Atlanta. Peterson and Sampson each with 4 to top Houston. Houston is shooting 3 for 13, and they're not getting that outside shot, which has really done them in as of late. Reed comes through, though, and Robert Reed with his second basket. Lead is 10 again. Maxwell on Wilkins.
Atlanta has been coming out very strong in the first quarter running.
Willis with the hook shot.
He is their best low post option. He has really developed in that regard this past season.
When he's right, he can be a terror, but he's unpredictable. 7-footers just getting into the swing of things, and one of the best at his position when he's right. 2 in a row for Robert Reed.
Hawks the Rockets right now just searching out a hot man to try and get back into this game.
Peterson is on Willis, and the Hawks obviously going to that matchup. Sampson the rebound on Willis's missed shot. Level. Maxwell. And Cedric Maxwell with the layup.
What a heads-up play by Level. He waited until Maxwell uncovered to create that layup.
The Hawks have led all the way. 8 points right now. 2:32 remaining. In his second year out of SMU and their #1 pick last year, and a natural rebounder who's been struggling from the field the last 5 games.
He's not a confident offensive player yet. I think eventually he will be.
8-point lead for the Hawks. They have the ball with 2:20 remaining in the period. And a turnover. Maxwell caused it. Williams defending against Maxwell, and they're going to call offensive foul against Maxwell. who's going after Mike Mathis.
I think that was a terrible call. A man was going to the hoop, and Gus Williams slid right underneath him.
Cliff Levingston has come into the ball game for the Hawks. They have a very deep bench, lessened with the injuries to Whitman and Webb. Koncak really struggling, missing inside. Koncak 3 for 24 in his last 4 games, and a foul called against the Rockets. It'll be against the Koncak of the Hawks.
You know, for a non-leaping big guy, one of the first things he has to do is get confidence that he can get his shot off. I don't think that Koncak has that confidence that he can get his shot off anytime he wants.
Rebounding wise, you won't find anything better. 17 against the Knicks, 9 off the offensive glass, and he'll get that ball for you.
He still has some things to learn defensively too in the low post, but he's going to give you a lot of effort.
Well, he's in his 2nd year, and of course it takes a while. 2 minutes remaining as Reed makes 1 out of 2. We're in the first period, and a 27-20 lead by the Atlanta Hawks. Gus Williams and Mike McGee in the backcourt, and an offensive foul. McGee hit Reed in the face.
Yeah, that was some kind of defense by Robert Reed to get up and deny Mike McGee. You don't see that kind of defense at the tail end of a first quarter after you played so long.
Rockets trying to pare the Hawks lead to 5 here. Sampson. And a loose ball foul called against the Houston Rockets. Keep in mind, Olajuwon went out early with 2 personal fouls, and the Rockets hanging in there without their best scorer and rebounder.
But Sampson, trying to develop an unstoppable shot when he's in the low post, is going more and more to the hook shot. And he's starting to get the rhythm a little bit. Now you watch. Koncak gives him the middle a little bit. Sampson beats the double team, and at 7'4", he's going to go over anybody. He just has to learn to soften that shot up a little bit.
Foul was on Peterson. Koncak misses the first one. Sampson is 1 for 7 from the field thus far. Has scored 4. Just about a minute and a half remaining in the first period. 28-20 Atlanta lead. They were up by 12. Roared out to a 7-0 lead. Open is Reed. Reed's long range shooting is on today. He has 9 points and is the game's high scorer. 28-26. McGee. Green light all the time from 3-point range. Now the Rockets can make it a 4-point game. Reed. Red hot misses, and now Williams. Let's see what the Hawks do. 4 on 3 in the break. Stop and go, feeding Cliff Levingston. And there's Mickey inside, tipped up again by Willis, out of bounds. Houston ball. How frustrating for the Hawks with that break.
I tell you, that was a good fast break that time by Gus Williams, but he didn't know his teammate. Livingston is not a good jump shooter, and he set him up for a jump shot that isn't his best shot.
Antoine Carr, number 35, into the ball game. Talented player, a bit overweight as of late, replaces Kevin Willis as the Rockets go to Sampson, who's doubled and hits the shot despite the double team. 28-24. And the Rockets move closer to the Hawks. 28 seconds and 16 on the shot clock. Remaining in the first period. Livingston shooting over Maxwell.
When this second unit for the Hawks was in there with Spud Webb, they throw fear into the other ball clubs because they break you down with speed and beat everybody up the court.
5 seconds to go in the first period. Sampson has hit 2 in a row. 2 seconds remain. And Williams' shot is short. An 11-3 run by Houston to close out the period. And that's the end of the first session with the score 30-26. We'll return after this word from your local station.
America's game. It's fantastic.
Interesting trail that the Hawks franchise have followed. They started as known as the Tri-Cities Blackhawks in the Iowa-Illinois area. And Red Auerbach was their coach back in 1949 and 50. They moved to Milwaukee in 51 and then to St. Louis in 55. And they won an NBA title in 1958 with the great Bob Pettit and Cliff Hagan. And then after St. Louis, the Hawks moved to Atlanta in 1968. And their big star there and a great attraction was Pistol Pete Maravich, who was drafted 2 years after that. Remember those uniforms? Another one, Lou Hudson. His number is retired here in Atlanta. And in the 80s, the man of the moment for the Atlanta Hawks is Magnifique Dominique Wilkins.
Well, I played against that 58 St. Louis Hawks team, and I'll tell you, they were a real tough basketball team with Bob Pettit, rebounding-wise. This team has more speed that the Hawks have right now than ever was on the St. Louis Hawks.
That was the only team really to beat the Celtics in those early days of domination. Contact with a good feed from Gus Williams. Start of the second period, Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn at the Omni in Atlanta. 32-26 Hawks. Gus Williams is on level. Peterson. Maxwell, 9 seconds on the clock. Peterson, fine pass to Maxwell and a great basket. That's a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar patented pass.
When you double somebody in low post, somebody better pick up the man cutting to the hoop. That time Maxwell wide open.
Hawks by 4. Biggest lead was 12. Houston does not have the lead. Again, they go into contact, but a foul. They're finding contact inside. But what's happening outside?
They're going to see how the guards right here, they're just daring the Rockets to beat them from the outside.
Foul was on Sampson. Into contact again, and another foul on Ralph Sampson. That'll be his second foul.
What beautiful isolation for Koncak on Sampson to play one-on-one. Rockets giving Sampson no support in the low post right now defensively.
McGee and Williams, they've played a lot now in the backcourt. Koncak, Dominique Wilkins, and Cliff Levingston up front. McGee is open. Cedric Maxwell. Reed on the wing. Trailer. Nearly a bad pass. 7'4" Ralph Sampson. Ball knocked away, and now a foul called against the Hawks. Coming back shortly will be Olajuwon, who has not scored in this game and went out early with 2 fouls. He's averaging nearly 24 a game.
Well, one thing that Akeem has to learn is don't get so aggressive on defense so early in the game. You got to let the referee settle down to the pace of the game, too.
Livingston committed the foul, and Ralph Sampson, when he's on a roll, the Rockets are tough to stop. He averaged 27 against the Hawks last year in their 2 games.
I think he's the most gifted power forward in the NBA because he has size and speed, but he hasn't truly learned to capitalize on either one of those consistently.
He's an enigma, pure and simple. 3-point lead for the Hawks. And Livingston tries to save it. He can't, and now Houston will bring in Olajuwon into the game, and Sampson goes out. Sampson goes out with 9 points for Houston. He and Reed are their high scorers.
He played pretty effectively in the low post. Ralph Sampson.
Actually, the Rockets narrowed the Hawks' lead with Olajuwon on the bench and Sampson their center. Level, long range. Allen Level.
Now, they've hit several outside shots, the Rockets. They're going to make the Hawks think about their defense.
Williams all the way. 2 minutes gone by, second period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn at the Omni. 2 running teams going at it, and it's 34-31 Hawks. Olajuwon passing more this year. Whistle before the shot, and an illegal defense, and a basket will count. So credit Olajuwon with his first basket of the day and a legal defense called against Mike Fratello's team.
But they never got the double team down to Olajuwon, and when he goes one-on-one against a young player like Koncak, he's going to score.
That's a warning the first time, and the second time that's called, it'll be a technical foul. McGee passing up a three-point shot. A triple contact. Good acceleration by Williams and the feed to contact.
That's what Gus Williams does so well. He knows how to penetrate and find the open man. Create something for somebody else.
Hawks lead is 3, and a lot of activity inside, and they'll call the foul away as Rockets are trying to fight through a pick, and a foul is called against Atlanta, and we'll take a timeout early here in the second period. Young coltish teams battling it out. Timeout and have fun in this game. Watch Bill Fitch on the left and Dick Vandervoot, and Carol Dawson, his assistant, tying up the chicken. These guys have fun. This is the middle of a season. Timeout in the ball game, and Bill Fitch and the Rockets have fun, and it's a different kind of look, I guess, that people have seen with Bill Fitch, who's supposed to be a hard-nosed guy.
Well, he's hard-nosed with his ball players, but he's got an Irish humor to him, and I'll tell you, the chicken was ready for the barbecue.
Doc Rivers comes in back into the ball game, replacing Gus Williams. Williams scored 6 points and did well with the Atlanta break while he was in there. Maxwell posting up Dominique, double team with Livingston. And there's Olajuwon inside, and Akeem battling for the offensive rebound, and now it's a 36-35 game.
And John Concact made the cardinal sin against Olajuwon. He didn't go try and block him out too far out on the court.
Dominique loses his footing. Great play by Rivers to try to keep it alive, and they'll call the foul against Houston.
Rivers is a very key player. Gus Williams came in and gave him a good blow and got that fast break working. Now it's in the hands of Doc Rivers, and it's a tough job for this man. He was not a playmaking guard in college. He's had to learn a lot of skills.
He wasn't totally healthy last year, and his early play spurred on the Hawks to their 18-4 start. Wilkins, rebound McGee. Good play by McGee, who had good position, and he gets his first basket.
That's a plus when a guard drops down there and gives you an offensive rebound that ends up in 2 points.
Houston still can't wrest the lead away from Atlanta. They got to within 1 a couple of times. It's 3 again. Level. Reed, three-pointer. And the three-pointer by Reed will tie the ball game at 38-all. And that's the first tie here. And it comes with just under 8 minutes to go in the second period.
Well, Atlanta really did a great job fast breaking in that first quarter. They're slowing down right now, and the Rockets making their inside game work.
Wilkins with a move inside, took too many steps. And Dominique, who has scored 8 points, turns it over. And now the Rockets can take the lead as Tree Rollins comes in replacing Concact. And you get the impression of the great bench and reserve strength, especially up front with the 7-footers. And there's another one in Kevin Willis that Mike Fratello has to work with. Tied at 38. 7:35 to go in the first half. Double team on Olajuwon. Level, three-pointer, and Allen Level hits a three-point shot, and so Reed and Level hit long-range bombs, and now the Rockets lead for the first time in the ball game, 41-38, and Mike Fratello immediately calls a timeout. This will be a 20-second timeout. Sonics, one of the great stories, surprising stories of this year. Rivers fouled by Level. And now they say it's an offensive foul. And Mike Fratello is getting a bit upset. That's the third foul against Doc Rivers.
And that'll bring Gus Williams off the bench.
Houston is 6 for 7 from the field.
And they're making that outside game work, so Mike Fratello will have to make some adjustments.
Level misses inside. Rollins clears it. That 6 for 7 is this period. Rockets were ice cold early, and now with a 41-38 lead, Atlanta trying to get closer. Wilkins. And it was just red shirts inside. Jim Peterson with the rebound. John Battle is guarding Reed, giving up a lot of inches there. Maxwell tried to pass it looked like, and it went out of bounds. Atlanta ball.
Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Tree Rollins coming. He thought he could drop it off for a layup, but it wasn't there.
And as Tommy pointed out, when we come back, Gus Williams will come back in the game for the Hawks.
Look.
Reed. Good acceleration by Level, but good defense by Dominique, I believe, inside. And Olajuwon picks up the loose ball. Gets the basket.
When you got a guy like Akeem that can steam up, pick up a rebound off a missed layup, that's something special on a fast break.
Now the Rockets didn't lead at all until this period, are up by 5. And a foul called against, no, a 3-second violation against the Hawks. And now Houston with the ball under 6 minutes to go in the first period. Hawks, the best offensive rebounding team in the NBA, have made the most of it, but trail now. Out of bounds, Atlanta.
I'll tell you, Gus Williams really went down and harassed Olajuwon. Well, Mike Fratello not coming out of that strategy. He said, you're going to beat us from outside. We're not letting Akeem get loose.
Hawks are trying to break an 8-point run by the Rockets. They're not going to do it yet. There's a loose ball foul called against the Hawks. In college basketball, North Carolina leading 32-23, a 9-point lead over Notre Dame. Kenny Smith, their fine guard, is going to be out a while. 2 weeks. Foul was on Rollins, his first.
Well, they back way off Maxwell, so they can't make a good pass into Akeem.
Level. Maxwell, the offensive rebound. Wilkins, open court. Deflected by Reed. Fine play by Reed, anticipating a pass by Dominique.
Just a plain bad pass by Dominique.
Maxwell with the basket inside. And Cedric Maxwell has 6 points. And the Hawks call a timeout. They're down by 7. At one point, they had a 12-point lead in the opening period. But Houston has come on strong.
On how to win.
Antoine Carr has come in the ball game for the Hawks. So they have Rollins, Kevin Willis, and Antoine Carr up front. Wilkins getting the rest. Good feed to Kevin Willis. Fine pass. (45-40) with 4:15 remaining. The Rockets leading. Maxwell will get the foul. Battling inside.
Now you watch Willis on the inside. Peterson trying to deny him the ball. And a nice soft pass over the top so Willis can go get it. Plenty of room to make the jam. You don't front a guy that far out from the basket.
Antoine Carr with the foul and Maxwell shooting. 10-year veteran reunited with Bill Fitch, who he didn't always get along with in his 8 years with the Celtics. But Maxwell says he made me a better player and I made him a better coach.
I call Maxwell a rubber man. I mean, he's like a relief pitcher. He throws all motion at you, and you end up fouling.
8 points and 3 rebounds for Maxwell. 4 minutes remain in the first half. 47-40 Houston. Rivers goes in, and he's fouled. Took a little guts for him to challenge all those big men up front. That's Battle, not Rivers. Battle is in his second year out of Rutgers. He was a 4th-round draft pick. That means 84th pick, and not many guys picked on that round, especially by a good team like the Hawks stick.
Well, I'll tell you, he's had to adjust to a new role. Playing the off-guard spot. He's been a ball handler. He's got to score, and he's got to find opportunities in this system to get his particular shot. And I think in the 2 games I've seen him, he's done that very well.
Sampson, 9 points, 8 of them coming in the first period. Battle, by the way, is great off the dribble. That's his greatest asset. Foul was on Peterson. And now the trap defense by the Hawks with a 5-point lead for Houston.
And they're doing this, Dick, to try and take the Rockets out of their normal low-post game.
Reed. Olajuwon keeps it alive. Peterson. Antoine Carr skies for the rebound. Battle has Williams on the wing, takes it himself, and a blocking foul against Alan Level.
The key to that fast break was Anton Carr's rebound and absolutely quick outlet pass.
Second foul on Level, and there's Fratello talking with Antoine Carr. Carr and Livingston came over from the Detroit Pistons a couple of years ago, and that shows you the kind of depth because they were high first-round draft picks. McRae back.
Well, I think McRae right now is in there in the back court, so they're going to play a little muscle on Battles and Gus Williams. The real challenge to McRae is that he have the speed to stay with a little pesky guard.
Reed went out of the game with 12 points to lead the Rockets, and he's the game's high scorer. Level. Good move.
And did Maxwell make that happen? He read the defense perfectly.
Battle the other way. And the rebound by Kevin Willis, who draws the foul. Heating pad in the hand of Dominique Wilkins, who has scored only 8 points and is not himself in this game, which is a break for the Rockets. Meanwhile, Peterson has chalked up his third personal foul.
What kind of color is that heating pad? I would never put an orange heating pad on. White was my color.
Okay. Unless you play for the Cleveland Cavaliers or a team like that.
So he doesn't have the home heating pad. Home heating pads are white.
Sampson has had a long rest, and he'll come back in the ball game, giving Peterson a breather. And so, as we talked about Atlanta's big size in the front court and depth, we see it now with Houston again.
Well, when you get those twin towers in there, now they're going to really be big because McRae is in the back court. They're going to jam the boards. Now, you watch the Hawks playing with a smaller team. They might be able to go up and use speed to take the ball out of their hands.
And the trap has been successful against the Rockets, Mike Fratello told us yesterday. 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
They're not getting the ball into the low post.
They've got Battle on Maxwell. Mismatch there. Maxwell goes to the post. Olajuwon misses as the buzzer sounds. They got the shot off in time. Williams pushes it up. Willis can't jam it through, and Olajuwon with the rebound and into the forecourt with 2:35 remaining, and it's 49-46 Houston.
What the Rockets want to do is get the ball into the hands of Hakeem Olajuwon so he can wheel to the hoop. With this press defense, you can't do that.
Sampson wide open, hits the jumper, and Ralph with 11 points. 51-46 Houston. The first period was all Atlanta. They had a 12-point lead after going 7-0 to start the game. But the Rockets, with great shooting, have controlled the second period. John Battle is fouled.
I think he got a break that time because McRae cut him off at the pass, and he just flipped the ball up hoping to hear a whistle.
McRae's foul is his third. Battle shooting. Battle is now 6 for 6 from the line and 10 points in the game. So Fratello has to be pleased with what he's gotten from normally the 11th man on the team.
Well, he's jumped several rolls, and he's functioning very nicely, Dick.
You're looking at the 24-second clock. Game clock has 1:48. Sampson. Air ball from 2-point range, but long range. Carr and Level strips Carr of the ball. Hawks are back defensively. Level, and it's tipped up and in, I believe, Sampson. And Ralph now with 13 points, the game's high scorer. Well, we told you when Sampson is on, the Rockets normally are tough to beat, 53-48.
Well, he really got up fast to tip that ball in. That's the dimension that most teams don't have.
Battle with 12 points is the Hawks' leading scorer. And now a 20-second timeout called by Houston. So
captured their imagination and can produce wins.
And an exciting team at that. The Rockets with the ball and a 3-point lead. 1 minute remaining in the first half. Sampson and Willis. Maxwell. And a foul against Atlanta.
Boy, is that Maxwell cute. As soon as he was in there, he was anticipating Tree Rollins being there, and a little head fake with the eyebrows, believe it or not, lifted Tree Rollins.
Gus Williams with a personal foul. And a lot of people were wondering when Houston was having its troubles in the backcourt, losing Lewis Lloyd and Mitchell Wiggins, banned because of drugs, why they would pick up a front court player. And you see what he has done, among other things, give Rodney McRae a rest.
But in addition to him being a big man, he is one of the finest passers of big men in the game and understands fast break basketball and big man basketball that he played at Boston with the likes of Parrish and McHale.
Rocket lead is 5. 41 seconds remaining in the first half. Antoine Carr. The rebound, Rollins. Knocked away by Houston. 36 seconds and 23 on the clock.
Hey, I'll tell you, the old Tree is hustling today, Richard.
19 on the 24-second shot clock and a half a minute to go in the first half. Battle trying to see something, and on a switch, Olajuwon is on Battle, goes around him with a quick move. Battle did a number on Hakeem Olajuwon.
Well, Olajuwon didn't want to pick up a foul. That's why he didn't go for the block.
Maxwell clobbered as he goes strong to the hoop, and he'll shoot 2.
Now, there's Hakeem down low, trying to stay with a smaller man. Doesn't make a move. Here's Battle. But now as he approaches the basket, you watch Hakeem jump away from him because he doesn't want to pick up that extra foul.
So Maxwell will shoot 2. The foul was on Antoine Carr. And into the ball game now, Buck Johnson on the left from Alabama, the #1 draft pick for Houston, replaces Robert Reed, who goes out with 12 points. And Dirk Minifield is in for the final 16 seconds of this first half. Max misses them both, but comes up with the ball. There's the game clock. 3-point lead for the Rockets. 5 seconds to go. Minifield one-on-one with Gus Williams. Olajuwon shot at the buzzer, misses. But Houston has come back strong with great shooting in the second period. After trailing by 12, they lead by 3. That's the end of the first half. Pat O'Brien will be back with At the Half from the Omni in Atlanta after this message.
Season begins to Atlanta Hawks. Now, another looming out there is Detroit, a team that's being fine-tuned in Detroit, just like a fine automobile. You think of Detroit, you think of Isaiah. He's the focus. Enter Adrian Dantley, who has had to adjust from being the focus of the Utah Jazz to a team player who no longer has center stage.
I really don't see the ball that much. It is Isaiah's show, it's his team, and I'm just here to just try to help the team win.
Well, AD seems to be enjoying himself in Motown and can even swallow his numbers. The average has dropped from 30 to 20. While he's not an all-star this season, he's trying to become Isaiah's best target.
It's still a big adjustment. I'm still going through a lot now, and it's going to take a time because it's totally different. When I was in Utah, everything was around me. I had the ball all the time, and here, that's just not going to happen.
Yes, in Detroit, Isaiah Thomas is the quarterback, and even his role has changed. When Adrian Dantley arrived, Coach Chuck Daly did some Monday morning quarterbacking with his lineup.
We're a little bit different. We're capable of going a little bit more inside, particularly with Adrian Dantley.
Surprisingly, I really don't go inside that much. Basically, I'm out on the perimeter more than I ever been in my career. I go inside on certain isolations, but I'm not inside like I think I should be.
Outside or inside, Dantley's teammates definitely appreciate his game. And they'll tell you AD will provide a new dimension come the playoffs.
We've always been a perimeter shooting ball club. We've relied on the jump shot and the fast break. We needed somebody to get the easy baskets, to get the fouls, and get us to the foul line. And Adrian is very capable of doing that.
That's one of the keys to beating the better teams is that you don't beat Atlanta with Dominique Wilkins playing 48 minutes. You don't beat Boston with Larry Bird playing 48 minutes. You have to have someone to draw fouls on those guys so they can go sit down for a little while and cool out. And that's exactly what Adrian does for us.
Adrian's arrival has helped clear the way for Bill Laimbeer, the burly center who will be going to next week's All-Star game. Laimbeer's thought is like everybody else's on the team. AD will soon learn who's the boss.
Isaiah Thomas is the Detroit Pistons. He's our leader. He wants to win. He plays hard every night. And his personality dominates our ball club.
I control the tempo of the game. That's more important than actually scoring points. I think I got the most difficult job on the team because I've got 6, 7 guys who likes to have the basketball. And we do a good job of spreading out the number of shots. And everybody gets shots, but nobody never gets enough shots for him.
Proving once again that the 3 favorite words in the NBA are gimme the ball. Well, they say the greatest form of compliment is imitation. Compliment is imitation, and so at the half goes to Portland for our final story.
Now, stay tuned for Halftime Break with Tonna Vandeweghe.
My passion for basketball came from a very early age.
Well, maybe not this early, but this combo is still around. Kiki even signed his contract on her show.
Kiki and his agent, my uncle, Gary Vandeweghe, joined us tonight.
Yes, it is a family affair. The basketball jeans are courtesy of Dad, a former New York Knickerbocker. And you can see the apple didn't fall far from the tree. And now Tonna's job means being part journalist, part sister, and her brother says the family background helps.
She asks tough questions. She really does. And, you know, since she has a sports background and has done it herself and our family is very sports-oriented, she knows questions that go right to the heart of the matter, and sometimes you don't want to answer those questions.
The daughter of a former Miss America obviously has inherited beauty and brains, so what more can a halftime host want?
What tips or pointers I can give Pat O'Brien for his halftime show? Well, there are 2. First of all, he can put himself in the features a little bit more, or he can put a blonde on his right.
Well, since Tonna's working and we can't get Madonna, next week at the All-Star Game we'll settle for another famous blonde, Larry Bird. Getting ready for the second half. I'm Pat O'Brien. Thank you for joining us at the half. Enjoy the second half.
On the floor. Let's see if he's stretched that back out again.
Atlanta fast breaking to 14 points to 9 for Houston.
And that's not enough of a difference, Dick.
Shooting percentage in the first half. Both teams were under 50%, but keep in mind that the Hawks have shot below 50% in each of the last 8 games. Big part of this game off the bench. Cedric Maxwell and Allen Level have combined for 19 of the 23 points for Houston.
I tell you, very interesting. The Rockets are going to start out this second half pressing the Hawks. And that usually translates into some real good offense.
The main scoreboard isn't working, but the auxiliary scoreboards are working, and so we're going to get underway. There's Anthony Spud Webb, whose loss, as Tommy has chronicled, has hurt this club's ability to run. You know, before he got hurt, they were ready to call that second unit Little Anthony and the Imperials. I think they still will when he gets healthy, and they say maybe by March he could be back. They got a good report Friday on him.
Well, his loss to this ball club was every bit as important as the loss of Bill Walton was to the Celtics. You wouldn't believe it, but he gave that team an identity and a way to score points, and they all of a sudden fell in love with what he could do.
And Randy Whitman cast on his right ankle. They expect he'll be back after the All-Star break. So right now the Hawks trying to hang in there, and of course they're tied with the Detroit Pistons for the lead in the division. John Battle penetrating nicely, and Battle has 16 points, and he is having a fine game. He played well against the Celtics in Boston about a week and a half ago.
And it was interesting that Sampson and Olajuwon, neither one of them went for the block on Battle that time. They stayed tough with their big men they were supposed to be defending.
Minifield, and it's put through by Rodney McRae. Dominique Wilkins, 8 points, as we said. And he scored all of those points in the first 5 minutes of the game and didn't score the remainder of the half, so we'll watch him.
I think his back is stiffened up, Dick. He's not flying high.
Rollins, low post against Olajuwon. And the foul will be called against Akeem, and that will be number 3 on Olajuwon.
Well, Olajuwon, again, committing not what you'd call an intelligent foul. He did not let the referees get into the second half of this game, just like he didn't let them get into the first half.
Rivers guarded by Minifield. Rollins trying to set a pick, and he sets a mean pick out on top. Minifield fights through, and Rivers misses the shot, knocked out of bounds by Rollins. It'll be Houston ball. The Rockets coming back have won 12 of their last 16, though they've dropped the last 2 games. Significant was that 4-1 road trip. Their best 5-game trip ever. Their only bad game was the one that we had on CBS against the Celtics. McRae having problems, stripped away by Doc Rivers. 3-on-2. Rivers goes strong to the hoop, and he'll be fouled and will shoot.
Well, Doc Rivers in battles have excellent hands to go after any guard, let alone a forward. Now, you watch Dominique, he's got those good hands too, but Rivers picks it up, and he goes on a fly. And that's the way they have to create some good, more or additional fast break opportunities for themselves off of steals.
4 fouls on Rodney McRae. So McRae is in definite foul trouble here as Rivers misses the first free throw. One out of 2 for Doc. Battle with 16 points leads Houston. Sampson with 13 leading the Rockets. McRae staying in there with 4 persons. Reed in battle takes the ball out of his hands, and a foul is called against Reed out of frustration. And Battle has really made his mark the last few games coming off the bench for the Hawks.
And that's the type of defensive play that really will help give momentum to the Hawks.
57-55, Houston leading. A little less than 2 minutes gone by here in the third period. Rivers out of bounds, last touch by the Rockets.
I have not seen the Hawks ever go to Tree Rollins offensively as much as they have in this ballgame, Dick. They're giving Olajuwon fits.
Stolen by Minifield, ahead of the pack. Dirk Minifield. And it's now 57-55, 59-55. Battle and Minifield really performing a show out here as Rivers goes to the basket with all the big frontline players we talked about. Those 2 guards have had their moment.
Well, Battle has gotten his good shots in the open court off the fast break and done some excellent penetration.
Period. Dominique Wilkins with 8 points early in the ball game has not gotten the scoring job done, but John Battle has come off the bench and started the last 2 games for the Hawks. He has 16 and 12 of their last 15.
Dominique has to feel loose and free in order to overpower anybody, but this man at the foul line right now, Dick, is such an important player for the growth of this ball club, particularly in the playoffs. The smarter he gets at handling that middleman role on the fast break, the more devastating this team will become.
You know, he's a fine player, top 10 in assists and steals, as we told you. He's developing an ulcer. How can a guy like that have an ulcer?
Anytime a shooter has to pass, he gets an ulcer.
Lead is 2 for the Rockets, 59-57. Hawks led by 12 in the first period. Houston turned it around with good shooting and led as much as 7 in the second period. Atlanta staying with him in Minifield. Too many steps, turns it over, and the Rockets now go on defense and a chance to tie the score. Outside shooting, important. More for Houston than Atlanta, and Houston has responded so far.
I think Houston, when they hit that outside shot, that time they were way off Minifield. If he hadn't walked, he would have got an easy one.
Sampson committing the foul, going over the top of Kevin Willis, and that's his 3rd.
Ralph comes over the top. He tries to get those feet moving, but anytime you come over the top like that, the referee is naturally going to call a foul. The way to try and steal the ball from the big man is move out on the side and attack the ball from below the ball.
Most of the fouls by the Rocket front court, McRae's 4, Sampson and Olajuwon 3, have not been what you would call smart personal fouls, if there's such a thing.
They are, I mean, particularly Olajuwon's. I mean, that is experience. You don't try and play 48 minutes of defense in the first minute of each half. You got to wait till the referee's heads get into the ball game a little bit.
Willis misses both. And here's the trap defense, which has worked in the past for the Hawks against the Rockets.
Now this takes time off the clock.
Reed hits.
So that if they eventually can get the ball into the low post, he's under the gun to take the shot.
Reed foiled it with the outside shot. He is 14 points. Rollins with the short hook shot into the hands of Minifield, and the Rockets pushing it up. McRae on the wing, and a foul on Willis, and that's what you want to do.
Well, I want to tell you, I was super impressed that time with Tree Rollins. Now, he's not known for speed, but he out-hustled everybody up the court to stop that penetration. That's a great move by this man. I mean, he's moving some big feet around.
2 fouls on Wayne Tree Rollins, who has labored in the NBA for 9 years.
You know, defensively, Tree Rollins, Dick, has given them a shot blocker, so some teams are reluctant to take the ball into the middle. And he's had an effect on his team. Contact does not give the same thing to this ball club as Tree does defensively.
McRae, 1 out of 2. Just under 9 minutes remaining in the third period. 5-point lead for the Rockets. 62 to 57. Houston 9 and 11 on the road this year. Not bad. Battle loses his footing into the hands of Olajuwon. He's got Minifield with him. Rivers back defending, and Dirk Minifield gives the Rockets a 7-point lead, matching their biggest lead of the game. And Atlanta wants to call a timeout and talk it over. So one of the best home court teams of the year under siege right now.
Come back early now, you say, Spud?
Yes, it's a prediction is month. It was to April, but now it's March. The beginning of March, I hopefully will be back playing.
We do, too. Now, next week is the slam dunk contest. You are the reigning champion. Who do you like in the contest? You're not going to be there, obviously.
Hey, definitely Dominique. I think Ron Harper will be a sleeper. You know, Mike is going to make it. Michael Jordan going to make his presence, but Dominique definitely.
All right. Thank you, Spud. Dick, this Spud's for you. Let's go back to you.
Tommy? Did you see that? I mean, Spud Webb made Pat O'Brien look like a center.
Yes, he did.
Or maybe just a power forward.
8:25 remaining in the third period. 7-point lead for the Rockets. Matches their biggest lead of the game, and Dominique Wilkins has attempted only 2 shots in the last 22 minutes. Obviously having problems. Wilkins never has problems like that handling the ball. Misses the shot with 2 seconds on the clock, and Rollins wrapped it out of bounds. Houston ball.
Well, they're trying to work on Olajuwon and create foul problems for him, but good defense that time by the Rockets. Forced a poor shot by Dominique.
And as we mentioned to you at halftime, the Rockets have gone a long way without getting 50% shooting effort. This would be their 9th game in succession. McRae going to Sampson, gets his own rebound, double teamed, and a foul by Kevin Willis. It'll be Willis's 2nd foul. Now they change it to Tree Rollins, and that will be Rollins' 3rd personal foul. One thing about the Hawks, they don't have to really be too concerned with foul trouble with all the big guys, and Ralph looks like he hurt his, well, I'm not sure what it is that's bothering him. Maybe his hand on the backboard. Let's look at a replay.
He's got a cushion on the wrist, but there's a nice lob pass. He tries to gather it in and make it all at once. But then when he, well, I think it was when the next time he went up to take the shot, his hand got banged against the backboard. You know, he's always faced with a dilemma. Should I play big today or should I play small? And I think you should play big all the time and use the speed when it's indicated.
At 7'4", when should he ever play small?
That's absolute.
Rivers driving nicely, using his body well is Glenn Rivers, and he has 9 points. And the lead pass knocked away, and John Battle hustled defensively down the other end of the court.
Here's a shot you don't see every day. A strong drive, and watch Olajuwon just intimidate the man, and yet Doc Rivers had the presence to bank it off the glass.
After Battle's defensive play, Hawks with a chance to come within 5. They do. Kevin Willis with the short hook shot. Willis Reed was a big factor in the development of young Willis out of Michigan State.
I tell you, the Hawks are getting more from their inside game than I thought they would get against the Houston Rockets.
7 minutes remaining in the third period. 66-61, Houston over Atlanta. Sampson with a good feed inside of McCray and a Rocket foul as Koncak, a 7-footer, replaces another 7-footer in Tree Rollins, who goes out with 3 fouls.
You know, most teams have worked Tree Rollins into 3 foul situations early in the first quarter. They attack him. They say he's the guy to get out of the ball game, and here he played an awful lot of minutes so far in this game.
Minifield finds an opening and lays it in. Good play by Dirk. He read the defense well, and Houston is up by 7. Hard to get the Rockets or the Hawks in deep foul trouble unless Olajuwon is the man. Battle driving is fouled.
Now you see on that play, Dick, when Tree Rollins was in the game, Olajuwon was reluctant to go for the block. He wanted to keep Tree off the boards, and as soon as Koncak comes in, it turned him loose for the blocks.
Flip Livingston replaces Doc Rivers, and so now it appears that Battle and Dominique Wilkins will be the backcourt. Wilkins going to guard, and he scored 41 in the backcourt when Whitman went out last week.
Well, that puts a lot of pressure on Battles now to really be the effective playmaker, and without an awful lot of experience, I mean, that's a tough job.
18 points for Battle. 68-63, a 5-point lead for the Rockets. Nearly halfway through the period, and Battle stepped on the line after he and Koncak had doubled Minifield, so it's still Houston ball.
I tell you, they are really confusing the Rockets offense at times by throwing that press on every once in a while. And Battle's got those good hands to make steals.
Hugh Evans going over to the scorer's table right now to check on something.
Time off the clock.
And they're looking back at the play-by-play, I guess, to see where that violation occurred. They're resetting the clock to 12 seconds on the 24-second shot clock, and McCray will inbound.
It was not a steal or a foul, so it's got to get down somewhere below 24.
Minifield one-on-one against Battle. Wild shot, Koncak with the rebound. Into the hands of John Battle. What a pass to Willis.
As that speed of Willis got way up ahead of Ralph Sampson and Olajuwon.
And the lead is down to 3. 68-65. Minifield. Short. Koncak with another defensive rebound. 3-point lead for the Rockets, and the crowd comes alive here at the Omni. Minifield comes out to meet Battle.
Well, Battle did not create anything on that fast break, so they'll go into their set offense.
Battle with the jumper. Points for Battle. Timeout. Houston.
The contest, the NBA All-Star Game, next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Yep. Eyes riveted on Battle, forgets about Willis, and that's what a good guard will do. Make you forget your own man at times.
And those two, Battle and Willis, are the only two Hawks in double figures. Battle with 20, Willis with 10, and Battle's career high is 22. That was against Milwaukee last year, and he has hit his last 4 shots. So the Hawks are getting offensive production from a place they didn't expect it today with Wilkins. Not himself, and only 8 points, but he remains in the game. Only taken 1 shot in the last 28 minutes or so. 5:10 remaining, third period. Bad pass to Olajuwon and Koncak. In the hands now of Battle. To Livingston.
Another good pass by Battle to create a layup.
And the Hawks regain the lead, 69-68 after trailing by 9 here in the third. Level misses, and now Dominique in the open court has a 4-on-2 break. And a foul against the Rockets. Bill Fitch, whose experience at the helm has helped the Rockets weather the storm of adversity in recent days. Now he's just trying to weather the storm of this game.
Bill Fitch gave the signal, was a blow the brains out or think out there.
I think Fink out there.
I think that was the absolute right move for Fink. Mike Fratello, I'll tell you, very, very pleased right now that the game is getting back to the pace and tempo that he would like to see the Hawks play at.
Level's foul was his third. 1 out of 2 for Dominique, who has 9 points. And it's a 2-point lead for Atlanta, 70-68.
But they are not getting the ball inside as much as they normally do, the Rockets.
Reed for 3. Sampson over Livingston, and that ties the game at 70. Ralph Sampson now with 17 points. He leads Houston. Level is on Battle. Olajuwon on contact. They bring Willis and Livingston on high. Isolate inside. Battle against McRae. Missed. Olajuwon with a rebound. Score is tied. Reed breaks the tie, and Houston regains the lead.
The good hard push, though, allowed Reed to get to his favorite spot inside the three-point circle.
And he's been shooting much better as of late. He's 7 for 12 this afternoon. Wilkins going across the lane is fouled, and he'll shoot a pair.
They're trying to get him back into the offense. He did not look for his shots towards the tail end of the second half while he was in there.
Meanwhile, Tommy, Rodney McRae has picked up his 5th personal foul, and now Bill Fitch will go to his bench, and Cedric Maxwell takes off the warm-up suit. McRae with 5 fouls.
I'll tell you, Maxwell will play Wilkins a different style. He's not as fast, Maxwell, as McRae, so he'll back off Dominique, who's got that blazing speed and that big first step. And he'll put more emphasis on Wilkins hitting the outside shot.
Made one shot, but the Hawks miss an opportunity. Level fouled by Battle.
Good foul.
That'll be a one-shot foul with 3:31 remaining.
And that was an excellent foul by Alan Level to save a basket. And Battle just never had control enough to get it over to Reed.
Mike McGee replaces Dominique Wilkins, who's struggling. Battle now has 4 personal fouls, so most of the foul problems with Atlanta with their backcourt. With Houston, it's their front line. Akeem against contact. And another rebound for contact.
He is not in a rhythm because he hasn't handled the ball that much, Olajuwon, to even look for a shot.
All of his 6 points have come in the second period of this game, and he's 3 for 8 shooting-wise.
Well, you would think that they would really get the ball to Olajuwon to work on contact.
Battles had the hot hand. Willis fighting for the rebound. Livingston. That's the top offensive rebounding team in the NBA, showing why.
He is one of those great leapers that knows how to rebound.
Hawks regain the lead by 1, and Maxwell will give the Rockets the lead again and will go to the line, and a chance for a 3-point lead. Maxwell with 12. The leading offensive rebounding teams, and a wide margin for Atlanta there. Houston is 17th, and that's surprising that they're down that far.
Well, I think that Sampson has a little bit to do with that because he's not one of the better offensive rebounders. He's a better defensive rebounder. But the Atlanta Hawks have guys that really stick their nose into the other guy to get that ball. They fight for the offensive rebound.
2.5 minutes remaining, third period. Willis goes inside against Sampson. Good move.
And he's working one-on-one against Sampson with no help from a guard or even Olajuwon.
75-74 in favor of Atlanta.
And look at all the double attention that Olajuwon is getting from the defense.
His fall away, and Olajuwon with his first basket of the third period has 8. So Wilkins has 10 for Atlanta, Olajuwon 8 for Houston, and no one expected those kind of numbers this afternoon. Under 2 minutes to play in the third.
Trying to set it up again for Willis to go one-on-one against Sampson.
Willis on the baseline, 14 points, 8 of them here in the period. He has 12 rebounds as well, so he's becoming a force in the second half. Akeem missed, and a foul called against the Rockets. It'll be Sampson's 4th foul. 4 on Ralph.
You see Sampson gives him good low post position because he can't muscle him. But there he is working one-on-one with no help. Not a guard coming down to protect Sampson and give him a little bit of hope that he can block the shot.
So Sampson goes to the bench with 4. McRae is already there with 5. And now the front court reads Peterson, Maxwell, and Olajuwon. So once again, we don't want to overemphasize it. The acquisition of Cedric Maxwell, an important one for the Rockets.
There's no question about that. Maxwell is giving them some basketball intelligence for the style of play that Bill Fitch likes to use. Blending speed with size, and Maxwell knows how to pass the ball probably as well as any forward in the top echelon of passes in the league.
Willis makes the most, 16 points for Kevin. Hawks lead 79-76. 1:25 on the clock. McGee picks up Peterson. Rivers trying to stay with Level. Level finds an opening, goes inside the basket, good, and a foul. And Alan Level, who was dropped and reacquired, and he could be a big factor down the stretch for Houston.
Well, he took advantage of, they back off him because they think he's going to pass inside. That allows him to see a lane to the basket, takes it into the teeth of the defense, and talk about creating a shot for yourself. He can do that.
You know, the rap on Level had always been that he was a wild, out-of-control player until last year in the championship finals against Boston. It was pointed out that Level's turnovers per minutes played were amongst the best in the league, and I guess that took away some of that wild and crazy reputation.
Well, I think what would happen with him is that when he goes up in the air, he really doesn't have in his mind what he's going to do. And sometimes that's what leaves the impression of turnovers.
1:03 on the clock. Willis too far away from the hoop. Maxwell wants to keep him that way, but he hits anyway with a good 12-foot hook shot.
Oh, they muscled him out of the sweet spot in the low post. You can't ask for much more from Maxwell.
12 points this period for Willis. Olajuwon comes right back.
And every shot Olajuwon has been taking in this quarter is a fall-away jump shot. Nothing turning strong to the hoop because of the double team.
81-81. 18 on the shot clock. You're looking at the game clock here. Third period. Mike McGee. Rivers. And now they're going to call a foul, a loose ball foul against the Hawks, and the Hawks don't believe it.
Let's look at Willis and Peterson. There's Peterson trying to front him, confusing McGee, and now Peterson runs around. And Willis says, well, you keep going. I'm the turnstile, pal.
Doc Rivers, his 4th foul. Gus Williams will come into the ball game. Gus will have to... Gus replaces Rivers, who has 4, so Battle and Rivers, the starting guard tandem for the Hawks, each now with 4 personal fouls. Level shooting.
Well, in order for the Hawks to continue what they're trying to do, Gus Williams is going to have to continue to try to tempo this game and create good fast break opportunities.
Level breaks the tie. It's 83-81 in favor of Houston. Time remaining in the third period.
I will tell you, Kevin Willis has really produced under this tough situation.
10 seconds on the shot clock. There's a differential of 2 seconds. Peterson picked up Williams. McGee with 5. They better hurry. Gus with 2. Just got it off. Missed the shot, and now the buzzer sounds, and that'll do it. That's the end of the third period here at the Omni in Atlanta. With the score 83-81, the Rockets lead. The Hawks will return after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
Drugs are a problem for everyone, everywhere, and we all know there is no easy solution.
When it comes time to make your call, say no to drugs.
Because if you say yes, you're not the one calling the shots anymore. Look, we're all in this together, and we want you to know
the NBA family says no to drugs.
Play it smart. Don't foul out.
CBS Sports coverage of the 17. Reed 16 and level off the bench with 14. Not to mention Maxwell's 12 have hung in there in a tight game. Start the fourth.
Hawks have had inside and outside offense going for them.
Rebound by Kevin Willis on the miss by Level.
And nobody on that side of the court to outlet the ball to get that fast break going.
Gus Williams defended by Level. We look at the matchup. Reed is on McGee. Maxwell defending against Willis, or Livingston misses the shot. Peterson's clear. Rockets by 2. Reed is open. He has shot well today, and Robert Reed has 18 points. Took a while to recover from arthroscopic surgery on his knee. At one point, he missed 14 straight shots. He's been hot lately. On the turnover, Maxwell.
Peterson doing a nice job on Willis, battling him for position.
And a 4-point Rocket lead. Olajuwon off balance. Willis with his 14th rebound. He leads the Hawks in that department on the season. Olajuwon watching contact. He has not been a factor offensively lately. Top of the key, Gus Williams. Maxwell with a rebound. Outlet to Level. And they're going to call, let's see, Mike Mathis a foul.
Peterson for pushing Willis. They were scrambling underneath the basket, and Peterson got a little peeved and said, I'd like to usher you up into the third row.
That's the 4th foul on Peterson, but more than anything, it affected the Rockets' fast break. It looked like it was starting to move.
They had a 3-on-2 potential that time, and might have taken away a hoop.
Well, Wilkins is going to come back in the game. Neek has only 10 points, averaging over 27 coming in, but hampered by a sore back. 3 of 8 from the field. And going out is Kevin Willis, getting a well-deserved rest for the Hawks. Maxwell all over the floor. He's on Wilkins. Good pass into contact, and an offensive foul called against John Contact.
Well, they got him the ball in perfect position right underneath the basket, and Contact felt compelled to lean into Olajuwon. He lifted him up in the air, but he threw a shoulder into him at the same time.
3 on John. 15 on the shot clock. A little more than 2 minutes remaining in this 4th period. Peterson swinging around to Reed. 10 minutes, I should say, not 2, as Peterson makes good. 2 minutes gone by, and
that was a big basket by Peterson to keep that offensive rebounding alive and put one up and in.
6 straight points scored by the Rockets.
Has to turn away and take a fall-away shot. Peterson has been banging hard on the board, keeping the ball alive, and Maxwell is in there also doing a good blockout job to create those opportunities for rebounding Peterson.
What Maxwell has done, Tommy, and you mentioned his passing, is the fact that he's allowed McRae to get more of a rest. McRae played a lot of 40-minute games earlier in the year. He has foul trouble today and has scored only 4, and Maxwell has more than picked up the slack with 12. Notre Dame has knocked off top-ranked North Carolina 60-58, and so the #1 teams continue to topple in what is a tremendously exciting, wide-open college basketball season. Just under 10 minutes remaining in the 4th period here, and wide open. You could say that about the NBA races as well. Who will challenge Boston and LA? 2 pretenders to the throne right here.
And Detroit.
Wilkins didn't have control. Contact on the other side, lost it. Stripped away by Allen Level. The Rockets have scored 6 straight points. Peterson posting up against Cliff Livingston. And the rebound by Livingston goes high for the ball.
Every time the ball goes in on that side of the court to the low post, the Hawks double and force the fall-away jump shot.
No basket, offensive foul called against Dominique Wilkins as Tree Rollins returns to the ball game. Rollins has 3 personal fouls and has had a good rest, and it looks like Contact will be in there with him. So with Livingston going out, the Hawks are going to a big front line here.
Well, that's their own version of the Twin Towers. Contact and Tree. Let's see if they can really control the boards, defensive boards. Look at those double teams.
Now you wonder when Fitch may come back with Ralph Sampson. Maxwell couldn't hold on, and Contact finds the ball in his hand. Rivers applying some offensive pressure. Battle. who leads the Rockets with the Hawks with 20 points.
I'll tell you, Mike Fratello stayed with that game plan of defensing the low post, and it's working out here.
Wilkins hits a 2-point shot, and that's the first basket for Atlanta here in this final period. They went more than 4 minutes without any points. 8.5 remaining in the game. It's 87-83 in favor of the Rockets. Rockets have won 12 of their last 16, but they've dropped the last 2 in a row. Loose ball. Rivers has it, and he's hit hard by Olajuwon, who goes over to Doc. He was hit in the eye. And Doc is hurting.
It's all right. You walk over here.
And they're literally dragging him off the court. Rollins and John Battle.
That was the double team, and Olajuwon in frustration tries to re-steal the ball and just slams right into Doc, hitting him in the head, in the eye. But I'll tell you what, Olajuwon is not seeing much daylight, and right now, either is Doc Rivers.
Rivers appears to be suffering to a great extent. And Joel Toole, the trainer for the Hawks, tending to him on the sideline. Meanwhile, Atlanta with the ball, trailing by 4, and Dominique. It's a 2-point shot, I believe. Fratello wanted 3. Is that right? 2-point shot, 87-85.
Smooth rhythm from that jump shot by Wilkins with the bad back.
Level hits a 2. Allen Level from outside now with 16 points. 28 off the bench for Maxwell and Level combined. Rivers being tended to is Peterson, and Battle went flying, and the Hawks will go to the line, and they're applying an ice pack behind his neck.
Let's see it again. As Rivers goes for the ball, and as Olajuwon just trying to re-steal it, hits Doc right in the forehead, in the eye area. And I'll tell you, I mean, this guy wanted to play this game so badly on national television. You know, ball players love to be on national television, and they haven't been on that frequently, and he wanted to show what he could do. So he's a hurting dude in more ways than one, with those fouls and also the shot in the forehead.
1 out of 2 for John Battle, and it's 89-86. That's how much time remains in this 4th period. Report from the bench is that Doc Rivers is dizzy. He's going to rest a while. Hopefully he'll be back. Olajuwon gets the ball in good position. Ball didn't go in for him. They battle. Peterson and a foul.
But I'll tell you, that's the first time that Olajuwon ever found the soft spot of a double team.
Interesting. Most of them have been the fall-away variety, but a foul called against the Hawks as Kevin Willis, who scored 12 big points in the 3rd period, returns to the game. And going out is contact. Wilkins' foul is 3rd. 89-86 in favor of the Rockets. Peterson pick and roll from Level.
Smooth move, and Rollins just did not get over quick enough to cut off Peterson from the hoop.
Winding down to 7 minutes remaining. Sampson getting a long rest on the bench with 4 fouls. McRae also back in the game with 5 as Wilkins misses. Livingston fighting his own man Rollins, and it's Tree Rollins who gets his 7th point of the game, and it's 91-88 again. Houston by 3. McRae playing with 5 personal fouls.
That was the experience of Tree Rollins, taking advantage when somebody goes for the block. He stepped right in for the rebound.
And they're going to call Wilkins with his 4th foul, and there's Ralph Sampson, who's going to be coming in the ball game with 17 points. Sampson will replace. We'll check to see who he comes in for. It'll be big front line in any event. Good report. Well, Tommy, Hakeem Olajuwon and Dominique Wilkins are the guys, the big guns that these teams go to, and the question as to what Neek can give them, considering his back problems. He has scored 14 points. Is there an imbalance there as far as the 2 big guns are concerned?
Well, they're normal at this stage of the game. You have a go-to guy. You say you will either get a basket or a foul. Now, Neek is starting to try and get back into the flow of the game, while
Olajuwon's out of it.
Olajuwon's out of there, so that'll probably put the emphasis on Ralph Sampson,
who has scored 17 points. and has played well today. McCray going strong to the hoop, knocked away by Livingston. Great defensive play by Cliff Livingston. Battle, lost control of the ball and level. The Hawks are back defensively.
Key time for Battle to make the poor decision.
Reed hits the jump shot. And Robert Reed, now with 20 points, is the leading scorer in the ball game for the Rockets. And with 6 minutes remaining in this fourth period, it's 93-88 in favor of Houston.
Battle on that fast break. A normal guard with experience would have pulled it up or got it to the middle.
Well,
like that.
As he looped it in, Battle with 23 points now establishes his career high. Tipped away by Willis, and a foul on Level over the top of Battle.
Here's Tree Rollins on McCray. And actually it was Livingston from behind who did it. It was great play. I'm going to see Alan Level as Battle is trying to make his own move instead of using some of his other players to create something for himself. Lost the ball.
5 fouls on Alan Level. 93-90. The Hawks, not getting what they normally get out of Dominique Wilkins, have to go to other ways to hang in there, like to John Battle. Rollins. Big offensive rebound, and a Houston foul right there.
I'll tell you, Tree Rollins is playing just an absolutely sensational game.
He is. 9-year guy, doesn't get a lot of points, but he can intimidate, block shots, and is a force. And now Sampson has 5 fouls, and a dilemma for Bill Fitch, because he's trying to give Olajuwon an arrest before he comes into the ball game in the late moments, and he's got McCray and Sampson with 5. Willis, good position for him. They're going to call the goaltend. The basket will count. Give it to Kevin Willis, and a foul as well.
Let's see a major league blockout coming up. There's Peterson trying to get to block out Willis. Willis says, I'll have none of that. I'm going for the quarterback.
But Peterson now has 5 fouls, and he goes out of the game, and Olajuwon, who has scored only 10 points, is in. So it's Olajuwon, Sampson, and McCray. And Sampson and McCray have 5 fouls. Willis misses a chance for a 3-point play, and the Rockets still lead it by 1. And the Hawks miss a chance to tie the game. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, fourth period. This game coming down to the wire. McCray low to Olajuwon. Doubled by 2 big guys. 5 on the shot clock. Minifield hits a big 2-pointer. Dirk Minifield on a good pass from Reed.
They are getting down to the double on Olajuwon so fast he can't even make a quick move.
Battle having a marvelous game, finds a wide open Cliff Livingston, and Akeem gets the boards with 4:43 to play. The lead is 3 for Houston. Minifield running the show, half-court offense. Reed. So Reed and Minifield each have hit long-range shots, and it's now a 97-92 game Houston.
Well, the way Hawks are playing their defense, they're going to have those shots, and it's going to be a question of whether they can make them down the stretch.
Battle going strong against Minifield. Finds Rollins, filling the lane on the other side, and Tree Rollins brings the Hawks to within 3.
Well, Minifield got beat on the play, and one of the big guys that the Rockets had to help out. Great adjustment by Battle.
Reed wide open, hits another one. And where would the Rockets be without the outside shooting of Robert Reed, who has hit 11 of 17 and 24 points in the game?
Well, he's going to have not a man around him for a period of time within 5-6 feet. He's going to have all those shots he wants, Robert Reed.
5-point lead for the Rockets. Willis is fouled. At the conclusion of the game, Tom and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game, and in conjunction with the award, Light Beer will present a check in the amount of $1,000 in that player's name to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund. Ralph Sampson has fouled out, and he fouls out with 17 points, 9 rebounds.
Well, he was playing Willis one-on-one most of the ball game with no help. That time somebody dropped down, one of the guards. As Willis turned to the middle, I thought the guard got him, not Sampson.
Free throw by Willis here would bring the Hawks to within 3 points. 3:35 remaining in the fourth period. Sampson is fouled out. McCray with the ball has 5. Reed off the screen. Into the hands of Kevin Willis. 15 rebounds for Willis. Hawks trying to come within 1.
They ran a play for Robert Reed to get that outside shot. All they had to do was get it inside. He would have been wide open on a pitch back.
8 on the shot clock. Double on Willis. And Rollins commits the loose ball foul over the top of Akeem Olajuwon with 3:03 remaining. 4 on 3.
But you see how effective we're going to see Robert Reed right now with the outside shot. He's the guy that's keeping him in it. Wilkins reluctant to come out on him. Robert Reed's got to hit that shot coming down the stretch in hopes that they'll come out so they can slip it back into Olajuwon.
Under 3 minutes remaining. Houston by 3, nurturing this lead. 1 point they trailed by 12 early in the game. 3-point attempt by Reed hits, and Robert Reed now with 27 points. He has been red hot from 3-point range as of late.
He is going to get that shot anytime the Rockets want to get it to him, because if the ball goes in, they're going to double off him.
102-96, and Willis comes back with 2, and it's 102-98 with 2:26 to go.
I'm surprised they haven't doubled Willis, because he doesn't react too well to the double team.
Minifield finds McCray, and a great pass by Dirk Minifield. Putting the pressure on, the Rockets continue. 104-98 with 2 minutes to go. Battle comes right back. 25 for Battle. Where would the Rockets be without Reed? Where would the Hawks be without Battle? McCray, foul going in. He's looking for the goaltending call. He won't get that one, though.
I think he should have, but you watch McCray now. Minifield coming to the middle. They stop the penetration. That allows McCray to just slip right inside for an easy pass, an easy hoop.
Timeout. 1:51 remaining. And it's coming up next weekend. Dominique Wilkins will be starting. You'll see moves like this. The greats play great, and they work hard at it. Magic Johnson, fun. And the legends come out to play. And Larry Bird shows what he can do with the 3-pointers in last year's Spud Webb. Drew everyone out of their seat with the slam dunk. But you'll see the All-Star game next Sunday from Seattle, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Tommy, what about Mike Fratello's strategy giving the outside shot to the Houston Rockets, who have been struggling from there lately?
Well,
who made one, missed the second, gets another opportunity. 106-100. Houston. The Rockets had held the opposition under 100 points the last 5 games, but they had lost the last 2. They'd rather win than give up over 100.
Got to play some good defense right now, the Rockets.
11 on the shot clock. Battle into the hands of Dominique. High off the glass, Dominique Wilkins.
Well, they got him committed up in the air about 6 feet from the hoop. 2 guys went to block the shot, and he still had that high flying act together to kiss it off the glass.
And he's not 100% by any stretch today. He's got 16 for the Hawks. 1:18 to go, 8 on the shot clock. Double team on Olajuwon. Willis cradles the rebound on the air ball, and the Hawks can come within 2. Winding down to a minute left. And Wilkins lost the ball out of bounds, and Fratello and Brendan Suhr claim that it was kicked by a Rocket player, but it'll be Houston ball nonetheless. 1:03 remaining. Now a minute.
That guy, Olajuwon, that time got great position the last trip up the court.
13 on the shot clock. Minifield gets it to Akeem. Back to Olajuwon. And great defense by Livingston. And Battle dives in for the basket, and the Hawks trail now by 106-104. But it was Livingston's defense against Akeem that made it happen.
Peterson brought his man over there, and it didn't allow Akeem to swing to the middle.
Timeout, Rockets.
Yeah, right there.
He and Bill Fitch both. But you'll see that Jim Peterson has allowed Livingston to make a move at Olajuwon as he turns strong to the basket. And right here you see Livingston coming over the top, grabbing him by the wrist. Never had a chance. That was a foul. And there's Fitch showing his wrist and saying, didn't you see that, guys? And, of course, when you have to palm up, it looks like pleading, and you never win your case.
33 seconds remaining. 18 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, what you're counting on when you go into the low post is that you either get the basket or the foul. And that time, Olajuwon got fouled, never got to the line.
Timeout. Big possession. 10 on the shot clock. McRae off the screen level. Level driving. Did not get a good shot off the glass. Into the hands of Dominique Wilkins. Battle slows it up with 13 seconds, and the Hawks, trailing by 2, need a basket, and they'll call a timeout. They have 1 left. 10 seconds remain, and Atlanta needs a basket to send this game into overtime.
Or Tree Rollins can punch it back in.
And the way Wilkins has gone today, he's played marvelously despite the bad back. Maybe it's not the game for him to try a 3. Atlanta has 1 timeout remaining. Houston has a full timeout plus a 20. 10 seconds to go. The Rockets by 2. And Wilkins has his shot blocked out of bounds. 7 seconds to go. They were going strong, and they were going to Dominique.
And hoping to get a shot off, and they knew immediately, the Rockets, that it was going to Dominique, and defensed it beautifully.
And Mike Fratello has called the last Atlanta timeout with 7 seconds remaining. And Houston leading by 2. They're out of timeouts. And now you have to talk about, as we remind you, that the final round of the AT&T Pebble Beach National Pro
on this particular play. Be interesting to see who is going to inbound the ball. It may be Dominique, and then they might end up really looking for him on 2 or 3 picks, trying to shake him loose for a shot.
And, of course, lurking under the basket will be Akeem Olajuwon, whose first block shot of the day was the big one against Dominique just a few moments ago. So while Atlanta talks offense, the Rockets are setting up their defensive strategy. All right, it'll unfold. 7 seconds to go. The Rockets lead the Hawks 106-104. And the throng here at the Omni on its feet.
Who's going to take the ball out of bounds?
Scott Hastings has come in the ball game for the Atlanta Hawks. Does not play much, but he's got some size, and he will be taking the ball out of bounds, and Reed will guard him.
That's how important the inbound man is, to try and get the ball in. Now, Reed's going to be leaping all over the place, and everybody else denying. He's got to find the right man.
Wilkins, 5 seconds, pulls up, tipped up, missed, tipped up again. Wilkins can't do it. The game is over, and the Rockets win it. And the Atlanta Hawks can't say they didn't have their opportunities. They did. But Bill Fitch moves within 3 games of 700 career victories as the Houston Rockets win it 106-104.
Here's Scott Hastings now, and he does make the correct pass. A lot of smarts going on for the first time in the game. It goes out to Wilkins. He's forced to put it on the floor. He gets a reasonably decent shot, and there's Hastings with the tip. Doesn't get it, but they're still hanging on. Just couldn't hold on for the key win.
And our Miller Lite player of the game is Robert Reed, who scored 27 points. That is a season high, and 2 assists. Light Beer is proud to present a check for $1,000 on behalf of Robert Reed to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund. So for Tom Heinsohn and Pat O'Brien, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from the Omni in Atlanta. The final score, the Rockets won.